Kid Gamma, and today you're here to listen to me yap about American McGee's Alice. Hi, everybody. So, I shouldn't have did that. I'm in pajamas. Normally, I'm dressed up and like in an actual fit, and I probably sound a little tired. That's because I am. It's 6:18 in the morning. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look which lock screen came up. That's beautiful, boy. That's beautiful, boy. That's beautiful, boy. I have a revolving window of lock screens that have here. Let's see what the next one is, shall we? Aesthetic picture. That's beautiful, boy. I woke up at like 5:34. My body has a habit of waking me up like super early before my alarm goes off, and it's cold as fuck in this house. So I grabbed my PlayStation blankie. It's blankie mode. But I figured I'm up and I was gonna do this when I woke up anyway, so I might as well go ahead and get up and do it. Like, I couldn't fall back asleep. American McGee's Alice is actually genuinely fucking insane. I guess the point of this video is for me to explain why it's my favorite version of Alice, which now that I think about it, I meant to figure that out because I actually don't have an answer. So maybe let's address this now. I don't know. I feel so stupid. I actually meant to think about this a little bit. You can't even see my hands. Yes, I'm emoting under the blankie, bro. Shut up. I actually meant to think about this a little bit and like figure it out so that I would have a better answer for you than I don't know. I just think she's kind of cool. But like, if I'm being honest, that's kind of the answer. I remember when I was a kid, and I swear, I think they were playing these commercials on like Cartoon Network, like not Cartoon Network specifically, but like Cartoon Networks. Like, it was either Cartoon Network or like Nickelodeon or something, because those are the main two I watched. I swear they were playing her commercials on those channels, and I would see it, and I was like, this is insane, dude. I should not be viewing this at like, I don't know how old I was, 10 maybe? I think that's when it came out, when I was like, I don't know. I shouldn't be seeing this, but it's so intriguing, I can't look away. So like, I was interested in it for a while already. And then I finally remembered it one day and I actually like got it and played it. And I was like, yeah, dude, this is fucking awesome. The dark aesthetic is super cool and it's really gritty. I'm like, yes, this is fucking awesome, actually. It's just cool. You know, and you know what? And you know what? Sometimes you don't need a big crazy reason for it to be your favorite, bitch. Sometimes it's just fucking cool. Bitch, you know what? Valid reason. I'm saying it right now. Valid reason. Yep. It's cold. I'm putting my blankie back on. And this is my own doing. It's my own fault. I'm the one who turned down the AC before I went to bed. It was hot as fuck when I went to bed. It was hot. So I'm sure those of you who don't know about American McGee's Alice have a question. Why do you keep calling it American McGee's Alice? Who the fuck is American McGee? You know how the game you probably know of, that you've probably heard of, is Alice Madness Returns? You've probably heard of that, right? You remember the commercials. Have you ever questioned why it's called Madness Returns? Because I used to as a kid, but I stopped questioning it pretty soon because I was like, I guess that's just, I mean, there's Disney Alice. Maybe this is like the same Alice. Which, to answer that question, yes, actually. Apparently, yes, this is actually the same Alice from the books. I never knew that until I started doing research for this video. Yes, she is supposed to be the same Alice from the books. So those two books happen. Then this happens. There's a first American McGee's Alice. It's hard. Can you see this? Oh, yeah, you totally can. Sorry, it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago. I like to keep the balloons until they fully deflate, but like, I guess I should have realized y'all could see that. My bad. Anyway, my bad. Like it matters. Bitch, yeah, it was my birthday. My bad. What am I apologizing to you for, buddy? Before I talk about the first game, can we talk about Mr. American McGee? Because what an interesting guy, you know? First on the agenda, yes, his name is American. Apparently his mom was like a hippie, and in college she met this person who was like, yeah, I named my daughter America. And she was like, you know what? That's a great idea. And it's not though, buddy. It's not. Apparently his name was between American and Obnard. Obnard. I shit you not. Obnard. It's in the script, bro. Obnard. Nigga, what is Obnard? I'm mad for him, man. I'm pissed off. At his 13th birthday, he met his biological father. One time. He showed up to his party drunk as fuck, and according to him, tried to kill him, low-key. And the only reason he survived was because he said, you know what would be a great idea, father? Let's go to the bar. Get hammered. And he went for that shit. At 16, he was abandoned, like straight up. His mom starts dating this transgender. One day he comes home and the house is empty other than his shit. And it turns out that she went off, sold the house and everything in it, got 2 plane tickets, and dipped. And she just left the nigga at 16, still in high school. American McGee is like 50 something. 16? What was that, like the 90s, I think? Is that not crazed? I think it's crazed. And like, if she was willing to do that, you can only imagine what this nigga's childhood must have been like. So you kind of start to, I think you can understand how this nigga's mind came up with this. But apparently what ended up happening, after doing job after job and having to drop out of high school and whatever, he eventually becomes neighbors with somebody. I think it's the co-founder of the people who made like Doom. And he hooks him up with a job and he rises up through the ranks and then he gets fired because of layoffs. So then he goes to EA, probably the worst mistake of his life. It's okay, he had no way of knowing they were evil. Goes to EA, they put him in charge of multiple projects that no one knows about because everyone knows him as the Alice guy. But I'm sorry, I do too. We're not going to talk about his other projects. Sorry, Mr. McGee. Maybe one day, maybe in a different video. Sorry. Then he gets put in charge of multiple projects and eventually he just makes his Alice. So that's who American McGee is. Let's get into what Alice is. I've been calling it a boomer shooter because Doom is a boomer shooter, and it's part of that old era of like old PC gaming. Like Alice is so old that I can run it on my shitty laptop, and I think it would run to genuine perfection on my shitty school laptop. Alice is old, dude. It's hard too. The way shit just comes at you and like you have like only so many options to deal with it at the start. I actually haven't gotten that. I haven't beaten either of these games, I should say. I'm so sorry. I should say this. I have not beaten either game. I never beat Madness Returns because I had to uninstall it for space at one point because I think Monster Hunter Worlds or whatever came out and I had to uninstall it for space. And Alice Madness Returns is also an old game, so it doesn't connect to the cloud. So when I uninstalled it, I assumed all my progress was gone. And then I reinstalled it at one point because I got tired of Monster Hunter. I've never really been that big into Monster Hunter anyway. I just wanted to give it a shot. And like it just kind of still didn't click with it. I reinstalled it thinking that I'd start all over. And that's why I wasn't opening it. But when I started doing the research for this video, I did open it. My progress is still there. I may finish that one day. Alice, the first one is just a hard game. So I'm just going to rip the band-aid off. Alice's family dies in a fire. Her whole family dies in a fire. That's how the game starts. It traumatizes the shit out of her, and it puts her in a catatonic state for years. I'm pretty sure I think that fire happened when Alice was like 13. She's 18 in the original Alice. She's been in a catatonic state at Rutledge Asylum for years, being mistreated and malpracticed on. Constantly, boy, because this is like old London where they still don't even know how to properly do medicine shit because it's, you know, olden times. One day, I guess one of the nurses comes in, they find an old white rabbit. I don't know if it's hers from when she was a kid or anything, but they find an old white rabbit, they give it to her, and they're like, you know, maybe hopefully this will help snap her out of it. And that's when she's sent into Wonderland following the white rabbit. That's your first objective, really, when the game starts. She pops in and she talks to Cheshire, and she's like, what the fuck happened here? She's like, I don't know. Like, bitch, you're fucked up. That's what happened here. Queen of Hearts took over. She's a tyrant. Everybody's oppressed. Follow the white rabbit. Go kill her or something. Go do something about Wonderland. This is your spot, not hers. Go do something about it. So that's your objective. The game ends when you kill the queen. And in doing so, Alice has also not cured her mental state, but Jesus Christ, definitely not cured. But she's at least gotten to a point where she is well enough to leave. Like, she's out of catatonia, still majorly depressed though. Still a lot of things wrong, but she's okay enough to get up and go. So she finally leaves the asylum. And one of the nurses that worked there, I don't remember her name. Okay, that was fire. I moved too quick. I found this fire picture from Gravity Rush. Somebody took a fire photo. It's in my lock screen rotation now. I love Gravity Rush. One day, if these videos do well and we keep making them, we are absolutely talking about Gravity Rush because that's my shit. That's my friend. Oh, Nurse Pris Witless. That's right, Nurse Prit Wit. She finds her a place at Houndstitch's home for wayward youth. I always have to look at this. I always want to say Houndsditch. Oh my god, no, I always want to say Houndstitch. It is called Houndsditch. Did I say Houndstitch the first? Oh my god. I know the title of the place is Wayward Youth. I did say she's 18. She doesn't just live there. She lives there as like a live-in maid and helper. But like, it's still somewhere for her to go for, you know, the 18-year-old with no money, no bread, no motion, multiple mental illnesses. Nowhere else is going to hire her probably. And they're trying to keep her out of prostitution because that was running rampant in London at the time. So it's like, it's either this or probably prostitution. So she took this. There was actually going to be a TV show for Alice centered around the plot of the first game. American McGee has been trying for years to get an Alice movie made, and it keeps falling into development hell, and it keeps not happening. But what was going to happen, and is maybe going to happen, is an Alice TV show. I say maybe because I don't know where to go to find out that information, and he doesn't know because he's not involved with the TV show at all, and he doesn't want to be involved. Which makes me feel like even if they do announce that shit, it might be ass. But he's been trying to get a movie made for ages. He's also been trying to get a third game made. We'll talk about that in a second. First, we need to talk about Madness Returns. So, I'm actually having to shoehorn this part in right here. A few days after I finished recording all the footage for this video, an article pops up on my phone and it says, oh hey, by the way, American McGee's making a new game. It's like, what do you fucking mean, brother? The plush toy brand that him and his wife made, Plushy Dreadfuls, apparently that has blew the fuck up. Like, they're huge in Tokyo or whatever. Like, they're about to have like a physical store or some shit. I guess with all that happening, he's like, you know what? I do actually still want to make games. I'm gonna make a Plushy Dreadful video game. That's going to be tied to the world of Alice. And I bet you're wondering, oh, well, Gamma, hey, Gamma, why the fuck are you in a suit and tie? Boom! Ignore these. Act like these aren't here. I'm not done with the costume. I'm actually making an Alice costume. Very last second, my homies called me up and they was like, hey, we got a free ticket to this convention coming up. You want it? Nigga, a free ticket? I'm supposed to be putting money up, but bitch, a free ticket? That's $100 saved, bitch. I'm going. So yeah, I'm finally putting together the Alice costume I always wanted to. I figured it's good timing. There's gonna be an Alice related panel at the convention too. Anyway, I just had an experience in that restroom so fucking crazy, bro. It's light outside now. There's sunlight coming into the room now. Oh my god. Help me, nigga. Okay, so back to Alice. Madness Returns. Like I said, she's a maid and errand runner at Houndsditch. I hate even talking about this nigga. Houndsditch has a psychiatrist named Dr. Bumby. I could play this up and like slowly delve into this shit, but my strong dislike for him is only going to make sense if I skip to the end. So let's skip to the end. Dr. Bumby is an evil man, bro. Basically, the plot of Alice Madness Returns, right, is Alice is out and about in the real world now, right? So the story sees her sometimes walking around London and sometimes being jumped back into Wonderland and then being popped back out into London in various situations because, you know, she's just somewhere in the city, returning to the real world or whatever. But the main plot of the game centers around her working through her trauma about her family dying in that fire in that house because she thinks it's her fault. When we get more information on that, she does think that it's her fault. She thinks she left a toy out and it fell or something. I forget what exactly she thinks she did, but she thinks it's her fault. The game eventually explains to you that this was not your fault at all. Dr. Bumby was like, I think, a family friend, and he would come over, and Alice had this older sister, and Dr. Bumby really liked her older sister. Her older sister did not like Dr. Bumby. So one night, he decides to break in, assault her sexually, and then kill her. And to hide the evidence, he starts the house fire. Now, Alice saw him enter the room, heard crazy noises, and I forget what she told herself that was, but she did not want to face the truth on that for obvious reasons. Heard her making crazy sounds as she died, and then saw him leave and start the fire, but she just blocked it all out. And that's already bad. That's already bad. And you would think, oh man, No wonder he's the main villain of the game, right? That's already bad. Would you believe me if I told you it got worse? Alice's older sister, I think when it happened, I think she was 18, which doesn't make it better. But I just feel like it's kind of a crazy jump. Maybe not entirely crazy, but it's kind of a crazy jump to go from that to then go back to your office and then basically do the same shit to kids. Because that's the other part of why he's not good. In Wonderland, he has a whole area, and he's this guy called the Doll Maker. And the area is filled with these fucked up looking kids. They're called the Insane Children. These fucked up looking kids. I don't remember the full context of it, but he's basically touching kids. Anyway, the game ends with Alice cornering him in a subway and him falling onto the tracks and dying. And it's weird, when it happened, he like caught a glimpse of her like Wonderland outfit. And you think to yourself when you see that, you're like, okay, well that's weird. But then she walks out and you see that Wonderland and London have combined into this like hodgepodge. And you think, oh, well, that's probably just a visual thing, just for a cool ending to the game. But no, that happens. That's real. That happens. It has a name. They refer to it as Lunderland. That's a real thing that happens. It is not for effect for the viewer. That is how she sees the world now genuinely. And that's how the game ends. Apparently the explanation for this, or the reasoning, it's supposed to be like how a signifier of how she has now mastered both of her environments, Wonderland and the real world. You know, she's at peace, finally. And that's cool. That's great. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful answer, nephew. And that's great. Where you lose me is in Alice Otherland. That's a thing that exists, apparently. I had never heard of this shit until I started researching. I know I said we'd talk about the third game. We're not there yet. So these aren't new. These happened way back then. Not like right on the release, because Madness Returns came out in 2011. These came out in 2015. There were 2 shorts made called Alice Otherlands. They happened after Madness Returns. So according to MCGEE, not only is Alice at peace with both of her environments, but apparently she now has a sort of superpower. She can now... Alice is a phantom thief. Let's just rip the band-aid off. She's a phantom thief now. She's dead ass. She is the first phantom thief. Joker and them other niggas owe her money for the rights. Boy. Alice now has the ability to jump into, I guess, other people's version of Wonderland. Like, whatever their Wonderland would be, she can jump into them. I don't think it's like a physical thing. Like in Persona, I don't think it's physical. I think it's more supposed to be like a mental, like a psychic thing. I also actually, something else I found out, there's a reference to Psychonauts in Alice, which is part of the reason I think it's more of a psychic thing. There's like a skeleton of Rasputin or whatever. It also makes that one, there's someone who makes a lot of fan art, an AU or whatever, where like Alice and Rasputin are like friends, and now that makes a lot more sense that there's a connection there. It's like, oh, they took their 2 special interests and put them together. But no, there's reasoning actually, apparently. Just a little side note. Anyway, she now has the ability to do that. This was a Kickstarted thing. Pretty sure there's a whole Kickstarter page. Maybe there were supposed to be more episodes. Maybe there weren't, because it was something about, oh, what if Alice went and explored the minds of the great minds of London from back then? And they had like a graphic with like, I think 8 people. I think Jack the Ripper was supposed to be on there, but they only got to 2 people. Jules Verne. Oh yeah, the guy who wrote Around the World in 80 Days. Him. I've never read that shit. I don't ever plan to. The Phineas and Ferb version was better, probably. I'm not reading that. But the first episode is centered around him. It looks like an old episode of RWBY, like super old. I'm talking pre-production. The animation isn't even fully finished. It looks like a group of college kids animated this shit ass. And a group of college kids that suck, by the way, animated this. It's terrible. It looks awful. And what they're talking about, I don't know. Alice, I can understand. Jules Verne's accent is so goddamn deep that I can't understand like 80% of what he's saying. So I don't know what they're trying to talk about or what they're trying to explain or anything.
On dit importance of perpetual réflexion. I concur.
So I'm gonna be honest. This episode is kind of lost on me. I don't get what happened, and this is the first one too. And this doesn't change for the second one. I don't understand what was supposed to be happening in there either. I mean, I understand a little more. It feels like I jumped in halfway through a show, if that makes sense. I feel like I jumped in halfway through a show. We're already in the deepest plot points, and I don't have any of the backstory. So therefore, nothing makes sense. Like, it feels like there should have been something in between where we are now with Jules Verne and the end of Madness Returns, and there just isn't. And so I'm lost. So not a great watch, bro. The second one is about Richard Wagner, a composer. Oh God. Let me tell you, boy, the Nazis love them some Richard Wag, boy.
I don't know what any of this means, man. Nazis?
Oh my God, bro. The Nazis love them some Richard Wag. Alice gets a job at the opera, which is nice. You can actually find employment. I guess she's uncrazy enough to find employment, so that's nice. That's very nice for her. She enters through this... See, okay, here's the thing that loses me. If she's hopping into people's wonderlands, like, specifically, shouldn't she need to be in front of the person? Or at least near them? Because she is very obviously in the real world. This one's a puppet show, by the way. Very obviously in the real world 1 second. Crawls through a crawl space, and now she's supposed to be in Richard Wagner's Wonderland. How'd she even get here? Also, Richard Wagner's Wonderland is just Brazil.
Oh! You just both ganged your shit!
She's been here 3 minutes, and she's already been robbed for her phones. Nothing in this makes sense. I don't know who this is. I don't know why she went back to get her necklace just to give it to him. All he said was, give me your necklace. And she was like, okay, girl, it's your necklace. Take that bitch and go home. Does she even have a home anymore? I just thought about it. I mean, I guess she would still live in Houndsditch, right? But like, my nose is stuffed up, boy. Oh my God. Do you want to hear something absolutely, positively heartbreaking? There was going to be a third Alice game called Alice Asylum. I don't know what the story is, but for once, the reason is not because we never found out. There is a, I think, 200-something page design Bible detailing every little bitty aspect of what this game was going to be. The story is right there. You can find it. I'm not gonna link it. I don't know if I'm like allowed, but like it's not hard to find. You can find it. He never took it down. American McGee wanted to make another game. He wanted to make books, merch, movie, all this shit. But the funny thing is, despite his name being smacked on the cover of it, he doesn't own the IP to Alice anymore. Well, his version. Nobody owns the IP to Alice. It's public domain. But like, he doesn't own it. EA owns it. And EA's a bitch. And I hope they eat a grenade. And he brought it to EA. Probably had an excellent meeting prepared. Excellent presentation. And they just said, we're not making this shit. Because it's EA. The greediest, evilest bitches on the planet. I fucking hate you. So we're not getting it. It's probably never gonna happen. I say probably. The only reason I say probably is because I choose to never lose hope, boy. If Bubsy can get 2 new games, who's asking for a Bubsy game, brother? Who's asking for fucking Bubsy? If Bubsy can get 2 new games, never lose hope. Never lose hope, boy. Even if it seems really hopeless. Never lose hope, boy. The CEO of EA could die tomorrow. A new person could hop on the seat and they could be like, what do you mean he said no to a third Alice? I liked Madness Returns. Why are we not making a third Alice? The CEO of EA could die tomorrow, boy. Shut up. Oh, that's the school bus outside. Yeah, the school buses are outside now, bro. You can tell how early it is. Oh my God, this shit stresses me out. Anyway, I can go in that design Bible and read the entire story to you. You could go in that design Bible and read the entire story to you. But because I choose to hold out hope, I don't want to know the story of Alice Asylum. Because on the off chance that it ever is made, I want to be surprised. So I didn't read it. I haven't read most of it. I haven't even looked through most of it. Apparently she's a doppelganger. We were going to have an evil shadow doppelganger. That's cool. You know, every character's gotta have one. I don't know if people are tired of doppelganger storylines. I actually like them. I like the evil shadow doppelganger thing, or like the robot claw. I like them. I get excited when they show up. It's like, oh yeah! It's like a character milestone. Everyone's gotta have one. I don't know, I like them. Something I did see that I wish I hadn't, because this would have been so cool to find out organically if it's ever made, is Shadow Alice. She doesn't have a Vorpal knife. She has a Vorpal scythe. I did scroll through it lightly. It's very detailed. Some of it's clickable, so you can just like jump to the section you want to read about. So like that's nice. But while I was scrolling through it, something else I found out: there's music that they already have planned tracks, and not just in a well, we were thinking for this part it could be a song that's got kind of this tone or no. They're links to YouTube videos. They made music for this design Bible. It's made. It's done. I'm probably playing it for you right now. It's probably playing in the background of this video. I don't know if it's copyright. Can it even be copyright claimed if it was never made into a game in the first place? What company is there to copyright it? Not EA! There is one guiding light in the dark, though. Henri Guevara or something. I don't know how to say her last name. She's working on a fan game for Alice Asylum. I mean, I say fan game because it's a weird middle ground. It's technically a fan game, all intents and purposes, right? But it's also just like the intended third game that she's making. So she like from scratch, like herself. I don't think she's anywhere near done with it. And when she is done, she may not be able to distribute it. I think EA did contact her and be like, fuck you, you can't do that and stuff or something like that. Because there was a video where she was like, yeah, I'm not going to be making this anymore, yada, yada, yada. And then there's another video that's like, you know what? I'm overreacting. I'm going to make it anyway. I just may not be able to give it to you. And people were like, well, you could play it and we could watch you play it. And like, yeah, sure, that gets around the legal issue. Here's the thing. There is definitely an avenue in which you can get this game to us. I don't want to watch you play it, big dog. I want to fucking play it myself. Who knows if she'll even actually finish it? Not even because she doesn't want to anymore, but like shit, man, sometimes things just happen and anything could happen and this could poof into smoke. So I'm not getting my hopes up over that until I see, hey guys, not only have I actually genuinely finished the game, but I found a way to bring it to you. Until I hear those words come from that account's mouth, I'm not gonna tweak over it. But other than that, man, that's about it. If you enjoyed listening to me talk about this insane ass rendition of Alice, be sure to like and subscribe. If this is something you'd like to hear me talk more about, let me know down in the comments. If I missed something, got something wrong, or there's just something you know about that you think would be cool to let us know about, let us know down in the comments. And until next time, I've been King Gamma, and thank you for listening to me yap about American McGee's Alice.